Hello, hello, and welcome to this episode of the Be Free podcast. And I've decided to hit record because prior to this, Siobhan and I have been chatting for quite a long time, and there's lots of insightful things that I think would be super helpful to share. So this week we have Siobhan Jaffray from SJ Nutrition. And yeah, I love Siobhan's approach to basically looking after ourselves from this nutritional viewpoint and from well-being because it is very she's all about I'd say what you focus on kind of like adding things in as opposed to restricting. And I know we chatted about restrictive eating before we hit record, but yeah, do you want to do a little intro to you, like who you are and what you do, and then we can dive into some wellness and nutrition stuff.
So yeah, I am Siobhan Jaffray. I am a nutrition and wellbeing coach at SG Nutrition, which I've been doing for 4 years now. Oh my God, I can't remember. And yeah, I really got into it to help people who were just like me, who, like we touched on this just before you hit record. Like a lot of women, we were brought up with restrictive dieting and eating being the norm. And those are kind of learned patterns that I want people to break away from.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I grew up and I can see this now. My daughter's just started becoming more aware of nutrition and health and stuff, which is great because she's a teenager and um but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I grew up, my mum used to count, had this little book and she would count every single calorie, and I think yeah, been on every single program, cabbage soup diet, Scotch Slimmers, Weight Watchers, Slim Fast, Slimming tea. Have you ever tried that in your past, Siobhan?
No, but I do know it. I do know the product. I think it's got quite a bit of laxative in it.
Yes. Yeah.
And I know that there's
You don't want to be
women.
taking that when you work in corporate. That's what I yeah,
Oh,
had that
and there was a
mishap.
lot of women that got pregnant taking it as well.
Oh,
Do you know,
really?
do you know that? Because then obviously it becomes a laxative. So if they're on oral contraception, it's coming out. And
Oh
they're,
my
you
gosh.
know,
Yeah, that's not part of the weight loss,
no,
the weight
no.
loss plan. Yeah, so I think we've kind of, as you say, it's all about re-education, isn't it? And I think like what we're going to focus on today is like looking at the different times of the year as well, because obviously we're in winter, and yeah, it's like kind of different, isn't it? Like, so what do we need to think about differently as we approach winter when it comes to wellness?
Yeah, I think, like at this time of year as well, like we're more likely to get sick, aren't we? There's more bugs and stuff going around. And then come January is, like diet starts January. And that's when people do get into that approach of, right, I'm going to be good and I'm going to cut out all the bad food. So then they start restricting things like, cakes, chocolate, crisps, all the things that they're enjoying. Which ultimately can then lead to, I call them snack accidents or a binge, like when you've restricted.
Accidents, love
So
that.
yeah, snack. I don't think I coined that. I then definitely heard that from somewhere, but I use it a lot. And it can like actually eventually lead to overeating, which is not really good for your relationship with food. So I think this time of year, definitely think about what you can add. We spoke about that, like add, don't restrict. Hydration is important. It's colder. In the summer months, we kind of carry our water bottle and you're warm, so you kind of keep yourself hydrated. We don't probably focus much on that in the winter. It's a really good time. If you think of all like the hearty foods that you can eat at this time of year, do you know, like get something in your slow cooker, stews, soups, like veggies, that kind of thing. Simple things that you can do. But yeah, I think those are kind of things to focus on as well.
Yeah.
And don't like to push supplements overly, but at this time of year, it's probably a good idea to supplement. Definitely vitamin D because we're in Scotland, we don't get enough sunshine. Um, so yeah, vitamin D would be, I think, a must. I would start taking that from October 1st, probably till about the end of March.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that, like from your experience as a nutritionalist, like what nutrients are really important to consider, like, and does it obviously differ at this time of year? Obviously, you mentioned vitamin D there. So, like, what some simple ways that people could really maximize their nutrients? I know you mentioned you're not a fan of supplementation and can touch on that a bit afterwards, but yeah, like how can people really dial up the nutrients?
Yeah, it's not that I'm not a fan of it. It's just that if you can get it from like a lot of people, like a lot of people don't like fish. I never used to eat fish because I didn't like it, but I think your taste buds change. So when I'm dealing with clients that don't eat fish, I would always kind of recommend an omega-3 supplement, because you need to be getting that in your diet. And of course, I'm not going to tell someone eat fish because if they
Yeah.
don't like it, they don't like it. And I think it's a supplement, it's an add-on to your diet and it can be good, but yeah, things you can focus on. Trying to eat maybe five different colored, different portions of fruit and veg a day. So, and it's not actually that difficult. Like, I think when you hear five a day, you're like, oh my God, but like even like a piece of fruit with breakfast, like some handful of berries or something, fruit as a snack, your lunch, just always look at your plate and think, what can I add to this? And it could be as simple as, like, I'm making a chili con carne tonight, right? I'm going to add an extra pepper in.
Hmm.
Like, don't complicate it. Don't be thinking, like I need to be like eating D, E, like all these different ones. Just kind of just different colored vegetables, a good portion of protein, and that could be in the form of fish or soy or chicken, and a carb, which we've been taught growing up is the enemy, haven't we? You need it for your brain. Your brain needs carbs.
Yeah, yeah. I think especially at this time of year, doesn't it? It feels like you need that kind of like sustenance. I don't know. It's something
Mhm.
about winter. It feels more carb because I think you're less likely to go and eat a salad or something, like load
Yeah,
in the veggies that way. So
you want something warm. You want something warm and comforting. Yeah, like salads, although there is some good salad recipes, like roast. I think when we think of salad, because, like we spoke about like the disordered eating, like the sad bit of lettuce,
yeah,
the cherry tomato with the sliced cucumber, like, and a bit of tuna on top. And you like, but you can roast carrots and you can have lentils and couscous. Like salads can be actually quite a nice add-on in the winter, but not in the traditional salad sense that we've been
uh,
brought up seeing like parents do on Weight Watchers.
yeah,
That sad salad.
yeah. No, that's true. Actually, yeah. There's nothing. Yeah, like a nice like warm goat's cheese, beetroot.
Yes. You just put me in the mood for something like that now.
Yeah, I know. I'm feeling quite inspired. So, like, I am like a total superfood and supplement junkie, right? I think because I'd experienced adrenal fatigue in the
Yeah.
past and burnout, supplementation was something that really supported me in recovery from that. And then obviously with the whole perimenopausal stage of life where I am now, and I know there's a lot of stuff out there that's kind of misleading and as well, but yeah, like I think from a supplementation point of view, obviously you've mentioned vitamin D, omega oils, like what about like things like multivitamins, things like that? What's your take on things like that?
Yeah, it depends if you need it in your diet because I think I've spoke to some people who take multivitamins, and actually when I've looked at their diet, I'm like, you don't need that. You maybe only need a couple of the things in it. Like people will take like a vitamin C, like like the fizz things, but actually
Yeah.
when I'm like looking at their diet, I'm like, you get plenty of vitamin C. It's actually this that you're needing. And
Hmm.
then you get people who work offshore and stuff, and like the food's not always great offshore. So probably for them to take a multivitamin. And yeah, it is. It's dependent on the person. It's dependent on their personal taste with food.
Hmm.
Um, and like even a time thing, like we're so time poor just now that not a lot of people are able to sit down and cook a home cooked meal every evening. So yeah, it is dependent on the person. And a supplement is to supplement your life, isn't it? It's to add on. So if you're not able to get things in your diet, then of course you can kind of look at supplementation. And I take lion's mane mushroom actually. We spoke about this last week.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm not an expert in that kind of thing, but I found that like my productivity's improved since taking lion's mane.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. Yeah, I've just started and I know we touched on this not when we were recording, but because I'm like pretty obsessed with this new supplements that I'm taking. We were chatting about it last week. So I started taking a supplement called Magic Mind. I don't even know if you'd call it a supplement. It's like a green shot, but it actually tastes good. It doesn't taste, I remember when wheatgrass shots first came out, and I was like in a shopping center, and I was like, oh, like all the health benefits. Took one, and I was like, oh my gosh, I thought I was gonna gag. But yeah, this product actually, and I'm going to do a supplement review of my own supplements based on this, and just hearing you speak just now, but. It contains things like lion's mane,
Oh
that you
yeah.
just mentioned, vitamin D, vitamin B, vitamin C, um, ashwagandha, which I found really, really helpful. I was taking ashwagandha and turmeric before, like a blended supplement, and this is what I'm saying. I think I need to review everything now because actually all of this is like a magic thing for me because it's like all the supplements that I'm taking are like in one little bottle.
And do you do it like just once a day then?
Yeah, so like you get this one that you take in the day, which is for like clarity, cognition, um, really helping you focus, but also to stay calm as well, which I
Mm,
think like you can feel, we were speaking about this earlier with technology, there's so much going on for our brains to be able to focus is actually
yeah,
quite challenging.
yeah,
And I find it's really helped with that. But they also do have a sleep one that you can get in the US, and I have a discount code for all my listeners, for 45% off the Focus and the Sleep bundle. And yeah, so you can take the sleep one to support you. I mean, I must admit, I have found that the morning shot has supported me with sleep as well. So, it is a magical, magical product. And I think at this time of year with the vitamin D, the vitamin
yeah.
C, it
Because
is
our immune systems as well, like they're, we're picking up all sorts. And like I think every second person I've spoken to, I'm like, oh, how's your Christmas? And they're like, oh, I was struck down by this flu. And I'm like, oh God,
yeah.
like
And guess what? I wasn't.
yeah.
And I was like, that's why I'm like, I honestly like can't like I feel like yeah, I'm just like ranting on about this stuff all the time. But yeah, I'm so interesting that this year I skipped all of that. And it wasn't because I wasn't kind of around people who were, yeah, struck down, as you say, with this flu and COVID and all those things. So yeah, definitely immunity wise, I think supplementation can help at this time of year. I mean, I'm not a nutritionist. I don't want to put words into your mouth. But yeah, I think at this time of the year, but around Christmas, there is a lot of sugar and all these different things which kind of lower our immunity and cause inflammation.
And
So
also just the amount that we do. Do you like the build up to Christmas, like the running around, getting presents, meeting with friends and family, trying to get everyone's presents out to them, wrapping the presents, like that's stressful. Like that takes a toll on us as well. And then Christmas happens and it's kind of like that, like, and then when we stop, we get sick.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So thinking about like our winter wellness toolkit. Um, why do you like how you've mentioned like a couple of times like how it needs to be personalized, like like some people might be having more things in their diet than others, but w- when it comes to wellness, why is it important to personalize it?
Yeah. There's never really a one size fits all for anything. And well-being is really personal. So, like what you could have somebody who seeks well-being and like they get that from their professional life. But
Hmm.
then you might have someone else who creates their well-being through connection with others and relationships. So you can't really say to someone like you need to focus on your career when maybe that person is not a career kind of driven person. They maybe want to focus on creativity.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, and we're all different, we're all individuals. So there's five different pillars of well-being as well. So for some, like all of it's important, but some might resonate more with one of the pillars than the rest. And had to write it down because I always miss one. So we've got
Yeah.
social, mental, financial, physical, and then community. So those are the five
Repeat that
pillars:
again. You've got social.
mental, financial, physical, and then your community. And I
Hmm.
think as well at different times, like when I feel like, oh, I'm just feeling a little bit deflated just now, and I'll ask myself, I'm like, what do I need? Do I need to be socializing? Do I need to reach out to a friend to have a catch up? Or do I need to sit in my own space?
Hmm.
Do I need to be, we spoke about this earlier on, do I need to be wrapped up like a burrito?
Yeah.
Or do I need to go out and like go for a walk or, do some yoga or start baking? Like it depends on the person and it depends on how the person is feeling at that time.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. Okay. So, just thinking about, like the clients that come to you and stuff, like is it generally to lose weight or is it like for mood or what would you say is kind of the main
It
reason?
is like it is. I know, like when you speak to like business coaches, and I probably get in trouble, and it's like, who is your like niche
Oh
client?
yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I don't know, because it's like I've helped. Like last year there was a guy going to the gym, and he wanted to bulk up. He wanted to gain more muscle. He wanted to look, so looking at his diet was kind of like the protein and things like that. And then you get some women who are, or men that are coming to me to to lose weight, but also to like improve their relationship with food as well. So a lot of my clients are kind of the ex-yo-yo dieters that have fallen victim, and I'm not going to name any of the
Mhm.
ones that we're speaking about earlier because I don't want us to get in trouble by, like those diet clubs, and like it's all about the scale going down. There's so much more than that. Yeah, so it's probably the wrong way to answer it, but like I get people from all walks of life, people wanting to lose weight, people just wanting to kind of feel a bit more energized, and then you get people who want to they want to bulk up, they want to get muscly. So it's again dependent on the person coming to me. And sometimes you'll get people who come to me and are like, I want to be 9 stone or something like that. They just, because again, that's how, like you've got your target weight, and it's, that's what they think they want to do. But actually, when you work with them, it's like, that was your weight when you were like 18. Like
Yeah,
you're not.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I've found like New Year's intentions from yeah, every year. I want to be 10.5 stone again. I want to be 10.5 stone again. I
Yeah,
was only
like
10.5 stone before I had my daughter, like 15 years ago.
yeah.
And yeah.
It's a number though, because you might actually get to like 10.5 stone and go, actually, like I want to be a little bit, I like want my clothes to feel a little bit looser. Or you might hit 11 stone and go, my jeans feel really good on me now. Like this is it. Like this is my comfortable weight. This is where I'm like confident, and my energy's better, and I'm not out of breath going upstairs. So yeah, it is kind of try to like worm that out of people, because yeah, we were like, you would sign up to a diet club. I know I did, and you'd have to pick your diet, your goal weight, and you'd write it on your little card, and then you'd go in and you get weighed every week, and then your weight like, oh, up 2 pounds, and you just be sat there like, oh my God, I've done everything right. But your weight changes as well depending on, like if me and you went out for dinner tonight and had pizza and like quite a bit of carbs, our scale weight would shoot up tomorrow, because carbohydrates, I think it's 1 gram can hold like, is it 3 or 2 grams of water? So you're holding water weight. Or like, what if you haven't been able to go to the toilet? That's
Yeah.
going to affect your weight. And for women especially as well, during different times in our cycle, we can blow up. So we're retaining water. So yeah, I think to focus fully on the scales as well is just not, it's not the correct way to do it. It should be about how you're feeling within your body and your energy levels, and those are the things to focus on.
Yeah, yeah, because I know like obviously you've studied like the psychology of well-being as well as
Yeah.
nutrition. And yeah, like how yeah, like psychologically, I guess, I don't know, like what would you say is the main thing that like people struggle with in order to change that pattern towards better health?
Yeah, there's a lot of things. It could be your environment. It could be, working somewhere where there's like constant biscuits on the tables and stuff. I actually coached a woman who worked in a care home for elderly people, and obviously like families they're constantly taking in biscuits and stuff. Like, thank you for looking after my parents or my grandparents, and it's lovely, but for people like that, it's like they might not have time for a proper break, and then there's biscuits or chocolates on the table, and it's like, right, well, I either don't eat or I eat this. Um,
I've done work in the NHS before and
yeah.
oh my gosh, yeah, these nurses are like, yeah, a lot of them living on caffeine and sugar and yeah, in such a stressful environment anyway, and as you say, not having the time and it's there, so probably.
Yeah. And then another thing's like, I think the all or nothing approach, where like you get to January and you're like, oh, I've got to eat salad 7 days a week, and I can't have like that little chocolate bar that I like. So when people are in that all or nothing approach, it's very hard to stick to being that strict. So it's about finding balance. And also just like the motivation to start, isn't it? Like you've got people are constantly waiting, I need to feel motivated and I can't take credit for this. I can't remember where I read it, but the way to get motivated is to take action. And
Mhm.
but that action could be, do you know what? Today I'm going to go for a 10-minute walk.
Yeah.
Like it's not like I'm going to run 5K 3 times this week. It's like, do you know what? I see this lunchtime. I'm going to go out for 10 minutes
Hmm.
and I'm going to have a piece of fruit with my snack.
Hmm.
Do you know, like, and then when you start doing that, you're like, oh, I can do this. And then so maybe next week you're like, okay, I'll go for a 10-minute walk after work as well. And then it builds up. So there's so many different, yeah, there's different factors involved in why people kind of struggle.
Yeah, a lot of, like habit breaking, isn't it? Like after dinner, my husband will tend to go for fruit, and I'm kind of like crave something sweeter, and I'm like, I just automatically don't think of the fruit bowl. But then I see him, and I'm like, oh, that actually looks really nice. Can I have some? So I'll like eat whatever he's peeled or chopped up. But yeah.
Something I teach my clients as well is called snack stacking.
Mhm.
So, for like, if you want to have the chocolate bar, like, let's do it with sweet. So, you could have like a little chocolate biscuit, but instead of, do you know when you're like, I'm just gonna have one, and then you're like, I'll go back and have another, and then you're like, oh my God, where's half the hobnobs gone? Like,
Yeah.
will I eat them? So instead of doing that, you could put like one or two like hobnobs on a plate, and then you could have some berries or grapes or a sliced banana, and you put it on the plate, and so you've stacked it up. So you're still giving yourself that bit of chocolate, but you've also
Mhm.
had some fruit as well. And I guess with this, to do it for savory, would be like crisps, like a little, instead of like the full family bag of crisps, you just put a small handful on, and then have some, I don't know, cucumber sticks and hummus and peppers and carrots. So you're still giving yourself what you want, but you're giving yourself some extra veggies as well and some of the good stuff.
Love that plan. Yeah.
Snack stacking.
I am gonna, yeah, to avoid the snack accidents, I will be
Yeah.
snack stacking. I love that.
Feels quite nice on us, like doing like a weekend evening. Joe, and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna make a little like snack board for myself, and you can sit and graze at it, and then not feel sick because you've just consumed like loads of sugar or like a full bag of sensations.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm only gonna have some. Oops.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, amazing. Yeah, love that idea. So yeah, like my listeners really love to hear what I guess the experts are up to in their own lives to support themselves mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. And I know that you have this like deep spiritual side to you as well, which we were chatting about before we went live. But yeah, what do you do to support your own health?
Yeah. Um, I think over the years, again, it's kind of just like sitting and being like, right, what do I need? What is it I'm needing? Because I think we are told like you need to be doing this, that, and the next thing. And actually, I love going out for a walk. I love being out in the woods. I've got a little duck pond beside me. It feels so nice, Joe, just to walk around. So sometimes it's that. Sometimes I do need to sit in my own space. Like I love company, but sometimes I'm like, do you know what? See, this evening I just need to be on my own with a cup of tea. And other times it's like I need to reach out to friends. Um, yeah, it's very different. I do yoga, baking. I love to bake. I just find it so, I think because when you're making something like a soup, you can kind of just chuck anything in, can you? And be like, it'll work out. But with baking, you have to measure, like you have to follow it step by step. And by doing that, you've switched off the outside world, like your phone's away and you're following a recipe. And then the satisfaction when you take out like the bread you've baked or the cookies or something, I do find baking quite meditative and yeah, so you're just not that doom scrolling.
Yeah.
But yeah, and bubble baths. I love a good bubble bath.
Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Ace. Yeah, I love that. And I think as you say, I spoke about this in one of my podcasts previously. I can't even remember which one, but like last one or the one before that, whatever. About that, like thinking about using your evenings differently. So like you've mentioned there, putting the phone away and baking and using your brain in that different way. Yeah, it's such a nice thing to think about doing. I went through a phase because I do have a sweet tooth of saying to myself, I wasn't this is bad because it is restrictive, but I wasn't gonna have anything sweet or biscuits or cakes unless I made them.
Oh, no, I
So
don't know if that's like, I think that's quite nice though, because then it's like a hobby, isn't it? So you're
Yeah.
encouraging like the creative side of you to come out because you are creative when you're in the kitchen.
Yeah, and I do love that. I do like to make kind of healthy stuff. So then it means that I tend to have to eat it all because my husband's like, I am not eating all those seeds and nuts and stuff that you've put in there. But so it does mean I tend to eat quite a lot of it. But yeah. It,
Yeah, I think COVID was how I started baking. I think most of us did. And then I would just like, I quite like gifting it out to people. I'm
yeah.
like, you can have some of this. Um, but yeah, flapjacks, they're a good one to make. They'll have loads of nuts and stuff in it, and you don't bake them either. You can just kind of just put them in the fridge, and then they're quite a nice snack to have, or you can
Mhm.
have it for breakfast even.
Yeah. Nice, nice, nice. I'm feeling very inspired to vary up my little cooking regime. And obviously my podcast is the Be Free podcast. So what is it that makes you feel free?
That's not an easy question, is it?
I think it's because it's like one of my core values is freedom. So I just like I love that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, well, yeah, that's difficult. I think like freedom must be one of mine. I don't sit well with being told what to do. I kind of like, well, I'm self-employed, am I? Like I've worked for people before and sometimes I'm like, that's wrong. I don't want to do that, but I have to because you're my boss.
Yeah.
So maybe being self-employed, maybe I was always destined to kind of, like do my own rota and like I'm not like although I am in the corporate world, but it's not like in the like traditional sense. Do you know what I mean? I'm not 9 to 5. Like I do slow Mondays, whereas people come like a lot of people come in on a Monday and it's all about the hustle and get everything done. Whereas I'm like, it's Monday, let's just slowly go into the week and set myself up. And I don't really like working past 3 o'clock on a Friday. Like that's just, I think, like having the freedom to be like, I can do that because
Yeah.
I don't, I don't constantly, if I'm stressed like that on a Monday, that just sets the tone for the week. But being able to go on to a Monday and be like, actually, let's just plan the week. But yesterday, I was like, I feel really productive today. So I did loads. Do you know
Mm.
what I mean?
Yeah, so just honoring, I actually wrote that in my gratitude journal this morning about and when I was doing my little full moon ritual today about gratitude, about that exact thing, having that freedom to work with your own energy, choose your own schedule. Yeah, it's very magical place to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I don't know if that's an answer to it, but I
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
do value my freedom. I'm not really one for being like, you must take your lunch break 12 till da 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 and like I'm not hungry at 12. I don't want to eat
Yeah,
that time.
totally. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes I'm hungry at 11:30. Other times I'm not hungry till 3. Yeah.
Oh God, do you know when the clocks changed last year? Like I was that person. I'm like, it's 4 o'clock and I'm really wanting something. Like I need my dinner.
Yeah.
What's going on? My schedule is just like, and I'm like, do you know what? If I'm hungry, I'm going to eat. Like, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. I'll just go to bed earlier.
Yeah.
My routine will just be a mess.
Oh, good. Amazing. Amazing. So, if anybody wants to connect with you, what have you got coming up, or how can people reach out to you? What's the best way to do that?
Um, just on the usual socials. So, I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I am on TikTok, but I've heard that they're going to shut TikTok. I don't know if that's true or
Oh.
not. Yeah, I know.
Groundbreaking news on the Be Free podcast.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just America that they're going to shut it down in. Like it's the 19th, apparently they're going to shut the app
Wow.
down. But again, I don't know if that's, but
Did
yeah, so
not know that. I'm not on TikTok. It was another.
don't go on it. It's just another thing that you're going to be doom scrolling on. And then on, is it the 29th? I need to check the date. It's a Thursday, the end of the month, which is the 30th, sorry. I'm doing a little winter wellbeing workshop. And it's just designed to kind of help you create your own toolkit for your own winter well-being. And we touch on nutrition and different techniques that work for you as an individual because it is still cold, it is still dark, and we've still got a couple more months of this. So yeah, and then by the time we get to spring, start putting like planting the seeds just now. So when we get to spring, that we can kind of emerge and just feel our best.
I love that. So, is that an online workshop?
It will be, yes.
Yeah, amazing. So yeah, so wherever you are, know that you can reach out to Siobhan for that, and I will put the link in the show notes for people so that they can sign up for that experience as well. In the show notes, I will put the discount code for the Magic Mind for anybody who wants to boost their nutrition that way. And to access that, you just head to www.magicmind.com/ be free, Jan, all in caps. So I'll spell that out. www.magicmind, just spell it.
Don't look at me. I can't stop.
Magicmind.com/be free, BEFREE, and then Jan in capitals. But I'll pop all the links for that as well in the show notes, and you can access 45% off that and be buzzing.
45%
It's
huge
mega.
discount, isn't
It's
it?
so mega. But yeah, I just set up my subscription. So I will be getting it to my door every single month. Because as I said, I'm just gonna have a little supplement review and see the ones I can just stop taking now because I'm already getting more than enough within that product,
Yeah.
which feels good. So, thank you so much for everything today. I've loved chatting to you, and obviously we had our little chat before as well. And yeah, it's been so good. So go give Siobhan a follow. She shares some really helpful and yeah, like uncomplicated. I think that is the thing that
Yeah.
I would say. Like your approach is really uncomplicated. So anybody who does want to, take control of their health and well-being this year, then go give her a follow and reach out for support and go sign up for her workshop.
Thank you.
Oh, quite all right. So I will look forward to catching up with you soon. And yeah, if anyone's got any questions, then you can reach out to either of us. So thank you, Siobhan, and I will speak to you soon, my love.
See you soon.
Bye.